Howdy-do everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is CT for the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing the courtship. This is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. So now we have the arrival of the mystery guest, which is Dominique, her brother, who flew in, married, baby on the way, and wants to be involved in this process. So he wastes no time. He first pulls over Dr. Hatem, which is the Egyptian guy from Ireland who does all the backflips, you know, the physician. And he asks him what his future plans are, where he sees himself and stuff. And he just starts describing all these things about traveling and, you know, just discovering life and new chapters, and nothing having to do with a woman or, you know, girlfriend, just nothing. So that was definitely a red flag, which is understandable, right? And then he goes and talks to Boccicchio. That's the Italian guy from Staten Island, who's a little bit, I mean, the guy's starting to be a little bit of an ass, right? And so when he asked him the same question, he says, I'm just looking for my +1. And I was like, you didn't have anything better rehearsed for that? I mean, I know you're trying to sell a few more cottages in the Hamptons, okay? But come on, like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. And he's like, no, you're not getting it right, but I'm just, you know, I'm not saying I'm not interested, but I just can't fall in love. I can't see myself falling in love or even getting there within 2 months. Like, not even, no intention of being open to the process and trying to, you know, develop feelings for her. So her brother was like, X and X, right? So he lets the family know about the people that he chose or whatever. So now it's time for them to have like a dinner party where particular suitors are selected. It was like, I don't know, 6 of them or something like that. And Mr. Judge, it was his time to shine. So he stands up and, well, first of all, he helps her cut the lobster because the brother's like, oh, I know my sister doesn't like to touch seafood. And so he volunteers to open up her lobster for her, which I thought was kind of nice. And then he goes into his background. It's kind of a speech because he's saying it in front of everyone. And it was a kind of like a heartfelt moment. And then just in that moment, who comes in? Nobody but Staten Island. You know, listen, the Empire State, there's a very special breed of asshole, okay, that is created sometimes in the tri-state area. I just have to be honest about that. And he is just that type of guy. And, you know, he's just busting in and everybody's like clutching their pearls. Like, oh, what's he doing here? The guys are all pissed off. You know, they're all breaking the rules, especially Mr. Kim. He does not like that because Mr. Kim, he's like, listen, I'm all about rules. You know, he comes from a regimented military background and stuff, and you know, he lives in Korea. You know, he's like more used to rules and stuff like that. So he doesn't like when somebody's like, just like blatantly breaking rules. And so he asks, Boccicchio asks Dominique, the brother, is it okay if Remy goes off and speaks to him? And I'm like, let's not take this like Regency era stuff to, you know, far here. I mean, she's still like a capable woman, able to use her own brain and decide if she wants to speak with this man herself. That's a you know, like a little, just a sidebar. So anyway, they go off and talk, and he is just sweet talking her and like, oh, you misunderstood. I have to make sure my intentions are known and da-da-da-da-da, right? And she's just buying it up. She really has a chemistry with him. So now it's time for the dance card. And it seems like that little chat that he had with her maybe saved him from being on the dance card, because she had Hunter, which is the guy that grew up on the sailboat, Hatem, Dr. Hatem, and then who was the third person? Oh, and Mr. Judge. And I was like, Mr. Judge, why is he on there? So, you know, they're doing those awkward dances where they're like running out of breath as they're trying to do the dance moves, and I need to see more effort from you. Like, it was just so hilarious, right? So, you know, Mr. Judge, she's still really into him, but she just pulled him out. Basically, she used it as an excuse to spend time with him and to let him know that she did hear him and that she is seeing him and noticing him and whatever. So he stays. The guy with the sailboat stays, but Hatem gets cut, right? And then when Hatem, he was like a gentleman when he bowed out gracefully, but then when he got on camera, honey, he was like, she's missing the best thing. You know, I was going to give her the world and all this stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's what they all say. So then, yeah, those were the eliminations, and Boccicchio stayed. Now, there was a little showdown, you know, just like a slight showdown between Kim and Boccicchio, because when Boccicchio came back from that dinner, busting that dinner, and he was around the other guys, they are all pissed off at him. And Kim's like, you know, you always breaking the rules and this and this and that. And then Boccicchio's like, oh, this guy needs to grow a set, and da-da-da. You know, he's just like your typical New York asshole. I mean, that's just what he is, right? And I was thinking to myself, I remember the very first episode when I first saw Mr. Kim, I was like, you know something? I think he is a ticking time bomb. He just seemed like he was ready to go off. Now he really, I think he kept his cool. I think he really pushed it down because he was ready to read Bakikyo, but I think he was afraid that if Remy saw that side of him, then that would maybe disqualify. She'd get rid of him or something like that. I really do think that. I swear he seemed like he wanted to clock him. But, you know, I don't know. Listen, this is getting interesting. It's winding down. I don't know. I mean, looking at some of those previews, it seems like her and Mr. Judge, I don't know. You think they'll be walking into the sunset? Please let me know. I'm just so curious. There wasn't much to say like more than that. I mean, those were like the highlight points to me that I really noticed. But we'll talk about this next week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Please take care, stay safe, and chipisalacho.